two founders both selling the business for $10 million each. While one is walking away with $7 million, the other gets absolutely nothing. The question is, how is this possible? And in today's video, I will break down why some exits change your life and others don't, even if the headline numbers are exactly the same. And if you watch the video till the end, you will understand that there are some levers you can pull to actually guarantee yourself a pretty proper exit. Because what I learned from selling my own businesses, from watching dozens of deals, from getting a lot of offers in my PE company, is that the headline numbers are very often fiction. What actually counts is how the deal is structured. The narrative, the framing, the story, the payment, who is buying, and so on. And by understanding which levers you can pull, as I said, you are becoming someone who can orchestrate the exit by his own term. I want to start with an anecdote from a friend who actually managed to sell his business for over $50 million, but ended up with walking away with $200,000. And the reason for that is he was very diligent in raising funds. Raising funds is amazing most of the time, but what we don't understand is it completely flips the script. How something like this is possible is because there are liquidity preferences. The script is flipping. Preferred shares always get paid first, which means that usually those preferences are 1x, sometimes they're even 2x. There are participation rights, there are option pools. If you sign a VC agreement, you need to understand that yes, enterprise value increases, but the slice you have of it is changing. And by spending time, by understanding what you're actually signing, by understanding how the nature of payouts changes, you avoid a very costly mistake. And most of the times, I guarantee you that those agreements are negotiable, even if it doesn't seem so in the first place. The second thing is how the deal is structured, or better, how the money is paid. Sometimes we think that those headlines is founder X gets the amount in all cash, but I can tell you this barely ever happens. It looks more like it is seller financed, which means you have the credit risk because part of the amount is financed through you. Or you have an earnout, which means that the payout is actually tied to the performance, or you have stock or rollover equity. Depending on who is buying your company, sometimes this can be liquid, but on the other hand, sometimes it's very, very illiquid. And so these structures have the potential to multiply your return, but they also have, unfortunately, the potential to completely wipe everything out. It depends on how they're written and how it is structured. So spending time on the deal structure itself makes sense, not trying just to get the highest number, but actually understanding mechanics to get the highest amount of money into your bank account. And something which is closely to this is also the taxes, the jurisdiction. Because if we start something, very often we don't think about selling it in a few years. Same for me with my very first exit, which ended up that I didn't have a holding company. I wasn't aware about trusts. I wasn't aware about offshore entities. I know that depending on citizenship, it's not always possible to fully waive the taxes, but spending time on the question, if someone comes today, pays amount X, what is actually left, is something which definitely makes sense. Structuring early is boring until it really saves money. So if you build something, you're convinced it will be big, sit down, don't push this topic away, and make plans. If someone comes today, pays X, what happens to the money? How much can I save now? How can I maybe already structure it through a holding company or something similar to avoid unnecessary costs? Because some founders sell through a holding company in a low tax jurisdiction and pay 0%, while others do the same but pay 30%. The outcome is critical and very different. And then we have two soft factors, which is the market dynamics and timing. I know that most of the people don't want to hear it, but the perfect deal depends on timing. In hot markets, the buyers overpay. In weak markets, they retrade. And sometimes the strategic demand, the interest rates, even currency swings can influence how much people are willing to pay for the business. So if you know that this is something you probably want to sell, be aware, try to time it. We see this with AI right now. Some of those companies enjoying 200x price to earning ratios, which is not very sustainable, but it doesn't matter at the end because the price is the price, and you can use this to your own advantage or become a victim of the market. And last but not least, the story. When we were selling eNAE back in the days, we were realizing that depending on who is buying the business, the valuation can swing between 20 to 30%. And all this because there's some who are seeking cost synergies, there's others searching proper market entry, they need talent, they want the tech. Depending on how good you can fit the story of your business into the vision of your potential buyer, the price will change. So think about it. If you start making a strategy for selling the business, think about who are buyers and who will probably have the biggest advantage by buying the business. So when you read headlines about huge exits, remember the number you see is enterprise value, not one the founders or business owner actually keep. Ownership structure, deal structure, tax, timing, the story, it matters, and it defines how rich you actually get from your exit. And so if you are an entrepreneur and you want to understand how to prepare and structure your business that it will be exitable in the future, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button of this video, write a comment, and we will see each other in the next video. And I will make sure that I break all the different mechanics down to give you the tools you need to build or orchestrate your own exit. See you.